So there's some good leadership over there. I think WFG has some great leadership. I think the comp is about the same. When you look at it, do you want a little bit more up front? Do you want a little bit on the back? I don't know. They keep touting all this stuff that's supposed to be in the EMD contract. But we're going to read that right now and see if the EMD contract is actually up to what they said it is. So basically everything that's been happening thus far is because Eric's saying that they've taken away some stuff, and so he built GFI on the premise of having more ownership and having stock options and all these things that he's been saying to different agents is what he's supposed to be getting. And so now we got a chance to see into the GFI contract. You can go watch that video as well. And I don't see anything as far as ownership goes in there that's unique for their firm than versus any others. And then now we're going to look into the EMD contract. The EMD contract is supposed to, I haven't read through all of it, so we're going to kind of do it together. It's fairly short. But that's supposed to have all of this ownership that Eric's been talking about. So the whole separation from WFG to make GFI was because he wanted more ownership, or at least that's what he's saying. So what we're trying to determine is Eric moving because he wants to become a billionaire, or is he moving because he wants to provide a better platform for people? And that's kind of what's up for debate right now. And however you feel about that is how you feel about that. But let's look at the EMD contract. Somebody sent this over to me, so I'm super grateful for them. I don't want to mention who it was, but let's kind of read this together, and I would love to hear your guys' comments on it. Let me know if this is a deal breaker for you. So whoever was asking about GFI or WFG, here's supposedly the contract. Somebody sent this to me, so it wasn't from Eric or something. So who knows, maybe it could have changed by the time they launched it, but this is what they sent me. So this agreement is made between GFI and its sub-agencies, referred to as Executive Marketing Director, where you are a member of GFI's independent sales force and have previously entered into independent contractor agreement, which was kind of funny because when we read GFI's contract, they keep talking about ownership, but GFI's contract, I think, is even just as strict, if not more strict, than WFG's in that they own the customer, but what they classify as a customer is somebody who's even been approached. So if you've talked to, let's say you talk to your mom, right? She's not interested in buying life insurance from you right now. And then you leave GFI and you go to another company, they're saying for 2 years, you're not allowed to talk to that person and make them a client or recruit after you've just spoken to them. And I don't know how they're going to track that. Maybe if you put that information into one of their lead systems that's supposed to track what's going on there. And then they become a client within 2 years outside of that. So it's interesting that on one side, Eric says, okay, well, this non-solicitation is too strict, but then his is just as strict, if not more strict. So that's in the independent contractor agreement, which we kind of read earlier if you want to go through that. But whereas GFI has considered you to have earned, let me get my pen out, earned a designation of Executive Marketing Director. So once you hit EMD, you start getting special privileges. The challenge with EMD is that it's twice as high as the standard of WFG's. So normally you have to have like 10 licensed agents, is I believe what PHP does as well. About 10 licensed agents hit a certain production level. So we're not talking a massive agency, right? Now, Executive Marketing Director, they don't have a position in between. So that's 20 licensed agents and double the production. So once you receive that, you receive the responsibilities, benefits, and duties of the position of Executive Marketing Director in GFI. And now, therefore, in consideration of the vested benefits, mutual promises, and covenants in this agreement, in attending to legally bound hereby, you and GFI mutually agree to the following. All right. Scope of this agreement. This agreement addresses the responsibilities, benefits, and duties of Executive Marketing Director sales position designation, unless the provision of agents agreement expressly provide otherwise. The terms and conditions of your ICA remain in force. So this doesn't replace the ICA. It's incongruence to, you've just hit another standard. So this agreement governs all of the benefits, duties, responsibilities, and privileges related to the position of Executive Marketing Director in GFI, in exchange for assuming the duties of Executive Marketing Director described in the following section of this agreement, vested ownership terms and conditions. The GFI agency guideline published through GFI contains performance standards, commission rates, and other matters affecting your compensation as published by GFI from time to time. The benefits accorded Executive Marketing Director will be yours. Executive Marketing Director Agreement duties. So you have advanced to Executive Marketing Director position because you have demonstrated an ability to recruit, train, and motivate others, and ability to market and sell market and sell products and services. The Executive Marketing Director title means that you are a leader in GFI, and its other members look at you to set an example for GFI. GFI expects you to conduct yourself as a role model and as a benchmark by which others of your downline associates and agents will measure themselves. You must be positive, encouraging, motivating leader for all of your downline associates and agents while also maintaining a minimum persistency ratio of 75%. That's pretty high. I don't know, any of you guys agents on there? I don't know what your persistency ratio is. Is it over 75%? I know it's supposed to be. Mine's usually in the high 80s, low 90s. But that's tough when you're building a team. To have a team that's staying in 75% when you're bringing on new agents, that's a high standard. That's a good thing for the industry. Hire for both you and your base shop downline. Thus, in addition to your normal duties and responsibility as an agent and or associate, Executive Marketing Directors must accept responsibility for and form a mentoring relationship with your downline associates and agents, and effectively assist them with monitor their trainings, local meetings, recruiting, and compliance with all license rules and procedures, because you are accorded the ability to receive override commissions on the sales of the products and services by your downline hierarchy, and you have accepted responsibility of overseeing their activities. You are responsible for the debt balance of any downline associates and downline agents referred to in your ICA. So pretty standard. If you have any debt balance, if you recruit somebody and they have a big balance that they bring over, they write a bunch of bad business, it charges back, that becomes your responsibility. I wonder how much they uphold this. So if you're an EMD and you hit all the other guidelines, but your persistency gets to 70% for a period of time, I wonder if you lose that. Vested benefits and commissions. If applicable, Executive Marketing Director who are dedicated members of GFI are vested in commissions resulting from the sales of the products and services, as well as other opportunities and benefits published in GFI's vested ownership terms and conditions. I wonder if we have that. Do we have the vested ownership terms and conditions? A person who is vested in commissions can earn commissions on applicable applications of products and services submitted during the term of his agreement by that person or their downline agents, even if this agreement is later terminated. The override commission rate for Executive Marketing Directors shall be published from time to time by GFI. In addition to divesting provisions in your ICA, you will be divested if you violate any provisions of this agreement, including aforementioned guidelines, which are incorporated herein by reference. Furthermore, since GFI has opposed to product providers unlimited responsibility for payment of commissions to you, notwithstanding any provision of this agreement or other agreements between you and GFI are contrary, the vesting provisions of this agreement may change in the event GFI's vesting and compensation schedules with the product providers are changed. Okay, educational requirements. As an Executive Marketing Director, you are required to train, supervise, and create an active, motivating environment, community, or your hierarchy of associates. You shall supply agents and associates in your downline hierarchy with relevant guidelines, bulletins, memoranda, policies, procedures, etc., furnished by GFI. So what does that mean? Because here's where it gets so confusing with ownership, right? Okay, so this is saying that you must create an active, motivating environment or community in your hierarchy. You need to supply your agents and your downline. So can you not then sail off into the sunset and override your commissions? Because if you're not creating that environment, can somebody else create that environment? I don't quite understand how that's supposed to hold up. If you want to get out of the field and just write your book of business. I don't quite understand how that plays into it. It just seems like an interesting clause I would want more information on. Executive Marketing Director designation. Executive Marketing Directors may, assuming requirements are met for promotions are met, qualify for designations of senior executive level and other designations established by GFI. Thus, an individual could simultaneously be designated as a representative, associate, senior associate, marketing director, and executive marketing director. Requirements for these designations are and shall be published and maintained current with GFI. However, the current married spouses cannot both have designations that's standard, so you can't both be an EMD simultaneously, nor can your spouse be coded simultaneously in separate hierarchies. So basically you can't do the what do they call it, the oh my gosh, I lost it. So basically what they're doing when you have the anchor leg strategy. You're not allowed to do the anchor leg strategy in GFI, only Eric can do it. So you can't be coded while simultaneously having your spouse coded in two different hierarchies. So you have to choose one hierarchy to be in. Furthermore, any agent or downline associate may not be transferred within or to other hierarchies unless they are in good standing at the time of the request and have no recruiting or production activity of any kind for a period of 24 months, during which GFI shall monitor their activity to ensure compliance before completing the transfer request. As an executive marketing director, you agree to uphold follow these standards. Failure to uphold these standards or publish GFI guidelines is breach of this agent agreement and can result in its termination. So if you recruit somebody from somebody else's hierarchy, that's a big no-no. You're not allowed to do that, which is kind of funny because I think that's why all of this stuff is happening, right? So they want you to wait for 24 months. So basically they want you to sit out. So let's say I was being prospected by GFI and I'm in one hierarchy and I want to move to another hierarchy. Basically what they want to see is that for a period of 24 months, I don't have any sales, I don't have any recruits, I don't have any new business for those 24 months before I can move over. So basically what they're trying to prevent is exactly what these guys have been doing, is recruiting people from inside of their own agency. Kind of comical. Okay. Individuals who attain EMD designation continue to be independent contractors regardless of any state, license, or form, and are in no way employees of GFI. Weren't we just having this argument? Oh my gosh, we just read this in the contract. So Eric is saying that he's an employee, while in his contract for GFI, he's saying that they are in no way employees. So like he keeps talking out of both sides. So in the WFG versus GFI case, he's saying, well, I'm just an employee. You can't hold me to high standards of being a business person. But then here he's saying literally the opposite, that everybody in GFI is not an employee, just like WFG says, or I'm sure PHP and these other guys say. Anyway, marketing directors like yourself conduct and control your own business activities, work hours, selection of customers, office locations, sales methods, and other day-to-day business operations, right? Because you're an independent contractor. Just like if you're a real estate agent, you choose where you work and what you want to do, your business activities, who you work with, your office location, your sales, everything else. So that's pretty standard. Termination from time to time. And at the choosing of GFI and the company board of directors, this agreement may be altered or terminated by written notice published to the company at large in order to further the best interests of GFI and its field leaders. Okay, governing law, and this is the last provision here. You and GFI agree that this agreement will be governed by the laws of the state of Wyoming, so whatever laws are applicable in Wyoming. If Wyoming conflict or choice of law rules would choose a law of another state, each party waives such rules and agrees that the substantive law of the state of Wyoming shall nevertheless be governed. Interesting. The parties agree that the state and federal courts of Washington shall have exclusive jurisdiction of any litigation between the parties, and you expressly submit to the jurisdiction and venue of federal and state courts of Wyoming within respect of such litigation. Oh my gosh. So if you remember from the last document, Eric is basically saying that he can get away with what he's doing because he's in California, and California has different rules around non-competes and non-solicitation. So what they're saying here is that any lawsuits like what he's going through right now with WFG would need to take place in Wyoming. So somebody tell me, I don't know if you know in the chat if anybody's does law in Wyoming, but I'm assuming it's way more strict. And so even if you live in California and you break the rules like Eric is doing right now, he's saying you can't use the same provisions that he's using in his lawsuit. If you do to GFI what he did to WFG, then you have to uphold the standards of Wyoming, not California, which sounds like it's more lenient. So anyway, another double standard in that contract, and that's all that's in it. So I don't see a whole lot about other information as far as ownership. I don't see any stock options here. There was another document that was referenced that, vested ownership terms and conditions. Maybe this is a document that we don't have yet. I don't know. Maybe that's where the actual vesting is, question mark. But as of right now, I don't really see it in this particular document. So there must be more documents that are still out there. So if anybody has that document, the vested ownership terms and conditions, I thought we were going to find that in here, but I don't think it's in here. So I still haven't seen anything as far as a ton of ownership or stock options or all this stuff that all of this supposedly happened because of. I just don't see it in this document or in the ICA that was previously produced. So anyway, that's where it is. Let me know what you guys think about it. I don't know. Interesting. So let's do some comments. Let's see. You guys got anything good? You guys just talking about coming in, blah, 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 blah. Any other questions you guys got? So on Wednesday, I have the documents for what WFG is asking as far as discovery. So the people that they want to subpoena, what information they want to get, who they're going to next to start working on building their case. All of that's in there as well. Will you do WFG's Heritage Unveil? I'll do my best. I don't know if I'm going to get a copy of it or not. But yeah, any information I have on either side, if you guys have anything, I'll go through it if I can. Yeah, absolutely. That's why we're here, right? We want to figure out what the truth actually is. So I appreciate you guys, and that's pretty much all we have today. The only thing that I think is kind of interesting is we have a higher standard of right and wrong for Eric Olson than we do for a former president. I think that's kind of funny. So the temporary restraining order, it's easier to get one on a former president than it is to get one on Eric Olson. So I think that's interesting. I do in-person poker, by the way, which Trust Computer, I have no idea what that is. So anyway, I appreciate you guys. Hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you guys later. Bye.